where you've spelt out different kinds of things that we need to put into perspective when we're planning for a marriage. Now, number one, the finances, because wacha tuanzie another obvious, where we think, okay, kila kitu ikikuja kwa planning, ni pesa, tunapanga, tunatumia pesa ngapi hapa, ingine tunatumia pesa ngapi. From the finances, there's where you are going to stay, because you find more often than not we throw harusi za kukata na shoka. Alafu mshakata na shoka, hakuna pali ya kuja kukaa. At the end of the day, you have no house, you have no place to stay in. So how do you plan for now the finances that you're gonna panga ikifikia pali ya kukaa and what we're gonna be using after the marriage?
I think one is...
plus who needs to contribute what?
Yes. So I think one, it's marriage, like I always say, it's a compromise. You know, you have to compromise your stud and then the other person compromise their stud. Because again, remember, you're coming two people who are very different, maybe from very different backgrounds, cultures, you know, social setup and everything. And now we are coming together to lay our differences to create a common part, a common unit, that is. So first, about finances and where you're going to stay, I think this also thing that you should plan before the wedding day, so that you don't end the wedding and then you're not so sure. Tunaenda pande hii ama pande hii. So before you do that wedding, of course, if it's in a rural setup, you know, you're heading kwa kina jamaa. There is somewhere there. But if it's in town where you're living in a rental house, of course, you should have set up a common home or a common house that you're relocating to once you do the you're done with the wedding day. Now, coming to who contribute what, again, it's a question of consensus. You'll have to agree. For instance, you could be marrying and then your incomes are they are not really the same level. Or you find somebody is earning, the other one is not earning because it happens again. Or you find somebody is earning too much, the other one is earning too little. So it's a question of agreeing. And on this, I'd just like maybe to comment away because I've seen how people do it, different people do it. The people sit down and agree that we are going to run separate accounts. You know, I'm earning my money, you're earning your money, let's just keep it that way. So at the end of the day, now you sit down and plan a budget. Maybe I will be taking care of the house, you take care of maybe groceries and all this. So you have that kind of an arrangement. There are those other people who will sit down and again say, let's have a joint account. Whatever you're getting, we put it together and then we draw from there again. And then number three, there are those who just decide to merge the two, the combination. I run my money, your money, and then we have some kind of common setup. Now, what I will say about finances is this. It's a very tricky situation. There is no right way to say, let's do a joint account or a different account or a combination. There is no right way again. It depends with how you understand each other. But of paramount importance is the level of trust, openness. You know, can you be trusted with that money? You're earning that money. Are you open enough for your partner to know, my husband or my wife, salary is this amount, this how the expenditure is, maybe these are the loans that they're being deducted, and then this amount that is being left. Now, the moment to put it, you have that kind of transparency, then it becomes very easy to manage from whichever the source, whether it's from a joint account, single account, whatever the way you do it. But transparency is the most important thing. Because the day you start hiding, it's my money, and then the other one says it's my money again, start fighting. And nobody will trust you. You know, I've had issues of men, when they don't have money, their wives can't trust them because they used to saying, I don't have money, even when they have. So, but when you're transparent, then it becomes very easy to say, you know, I don't have money, and to be believed. Yeah.
Okay, we talked about the aspect of having debts before the marriage and maybe communication, and part of what you've talked about, trust being damaged because of lack of me communicating to my partner that nilikuwa na deni or things related to debt before a marriage. How important is it to talk to your partner about the conversation of debt versus the fear that you have that the more I open certain things about myself, I open up certain things about myself, this person is just going to leave and I'm going to end up alone?
I think the earlier you open up, the better. Because it's better to open up and then you're left alone than to close up, they discover us, and then you break a marriage. You know, it's better a broken relationship than a broken marriage. So, because either way, you can't cover it for life. It will be known. At some point, it will be known. Now, what you're doing, if you don't open up at the initial stages, is you're breeding high level of mistrust. Because if you can't tell me during dating, you didn't tell me, we have come together again and maybe I met you, you are driving a car and then it is repossessed by a bank. You didn't tell me there was such a thing. You know, what we have done is that we have damaged the trust, the level of trust that was there. I can't trust you again. Why should I trust you if you didn't tell me this and this and this? So I think it's a question of being transparent, Because if you don't disclose it for fear of this person might run away again, you're risking him coming in or her coming in and then running right out of your hands. So you have to be open, very candid again, lay everything out. At the end of the day, you're going to start journey of the two people coming together to be one. It's no longer about your life, it's about our life. So if you're coming with this baggage, you're not telling me that you're carrying this baggage, the moment I realize, then it will be chaos and it will cause a lot of issues. So for me, the earlier, the better.
Okay. Now, there's this analogy and this conversation that I've had for quite a while with a couple of friends of mine with regard to a very senior counsel that we have in the country, Ahmed Nasir. We all know him as Grand Mula. Very rich man, lives the most lavish lifestyle. I wish I could steal his lifestyle because I'm going to say true and I live too soft life up I But one particular thing about his marriage, he has a wife who is very much educated. Very educated, went to one of the best universities in the UK, graduated with a first class, top of her class. But now but to the whole conversation, because I know you're waiting, okay, it looks too good to be true, where's the but to it, is the fact that the lady does not work, and the lawyer provides every single thing in that house and pays the wife an allowance, like a salary, every end of the month to take care of the children. Now, let's put it practically to people like me, like you and I, yeah, mimi na wewe. So in a time where a man or your partner tells you that, relax, you're at home, I'll take care of you and you take care of the kids. That is part of a financial conversation that a lot of people maybe just get into marriage and then it causes a lot of rifts because it could work for different people and it could not. So what is your response with regard to that kind of financial arrangement in a marriage?
I would say marriage, you leave the parents, you cleave, you unite together. Openness, as you have said, transparency. I wish, and I don't know, if this rich man told the wife, I'm marrying you as a housewife. I don't see it working so well today when you are denied your social life, your working life, and you are still very young. Kids will grow up. Are you going to retire at the age of 30-something or 40? Because they will grow up, you'll be left in the house, very lonely. This man will go on making money. And because you did not unite for money, I think you should have some freedom, the choice. And he should inform you before getting into the cage that I like a wife who is a housewife, all right? I don't like working class people. Now, if I look at it as a counselor, he is threatened by education of this lady.
But what if both of them are educated?
You have said he went abroad, got a first class honors.
And they've been married for several years.
Over 20.
A lot of years. Can't say, but a lot of years.
Sawa. That's a special case. But most of the cases, I think one should get his or her own freedom to work for some time, to have that experience, to deal with different types of people. Anything can happen tomorrow. And you may not even know how to manage your finances, the big finances, okay, you are exposed to. So I would say it is good when I work. I know many men, they don't like women going out to work if they are financially stable, right? But tomorrow is not known. That's why we say in planning your finances, you must plan your budget. And that is why I say you can have 3 kinds, I'm not going backward, 3 types of account. Joint for all the activities of the family, buying property, nini. Then another one for your salary, his salary. Then a kikapu for the household use, okay. Let's not commit a wife to buying the food stuff, the what. You know, one time an old lady, now she's 80, in her 80s, when I was a newly married girl, she told me, Irene, if you are told by a man, your work is just to buy food. I'll do the buying of the plots, building, what, that I'm not involved, One day, when you buy the food stuff, it goes to the toilet. We laughed with other girls, yeah? Woman's money goes to the toilet. So when you come to claim, you know, people change. And today it is so often, yeah? People are changing. When things come up upside down, you say, well, I built my things, I did my things, you know, and you are running the family. So that's why we say in counseling, joint account for all the engagements of buying properties, if you can. Then separate that you can buy it for your friends, you can handle your money kidogo, you have some freedom to have the desire to go to work tomorrow. Then you can have one for the budget for the home. Now, what we are saying about this coming together and sitting in the house, it's not healthy. Let her work, but if they have lived together that way, she is comfortable, others will not be comfortable. Your age will not be comfortable. I deal with them going bananas. I was cheated. I was cheated. Why didn't you put it down? And I told you people wear masks. Yeah?
And
He is saying
off.
so well, be open, transparent. Let you come in, you'll find a different person.
I think something about the Gradimula that we have said. One thing that I will say too, because there is this aspect of we idolize people. Him being a very influential character in the society again, that those people are likely to copy. You know, let's do like this because I have money or I have this. But what I will say is marriages are like countries. You know, each country has its own constitution. It has its own operations and it works. So how you set up your marriage, it depends. Maybe it is working for him. Of course, you don't know the genesis of it. Maybe they sat and agreed before, or it is circumstantial. You never know what is happening inside there, but what you know, it is working for them. So sit down and plan for your marriage. Don't kind of level your marriage based on somebody else's operations, because at the end of the day, we are different. Those are different people living maybe in a different generation from a different background also, because background matters again, the culture. You know, and now you are coming from a different culture, don't to ape, it may not work. So plan your own life and your own marriage. It's okay to benchmark, but then don't copy.
I hope mnasikia na naona watu wanatuma ma messages zao. We'll run through them real quick just to give a few shout outs and then to continue with the financial conversation. Tuko na Dennis Olale kutoka Kayole, big shout out to you. Na Tatiana, okay, that's the name of the artist you want us to play kwa nyimbo yenye unataka tukuchezenta. Tuma hiyo ombi pale nyuma na watafanya, watacheza kama wao. Jessine all the way from Nakuru City is tuned in. Anasema it's a feel good Friday locked till the end. Thank you so much. Jimmy from Mtwapa na kucheki kabisa. Salimia watu wa huko Mtwapa na mnitumie mahamri, asante. Alafu na cheki a very beautiful lady ametuma picha hapa na kwambia very very beautiful. I hope you're seeing the picture of this lady. Anaekwa sasa hivi on screen just to give her a shout out. That is Vida Matano from Kitengela and a watch show. Ametutumia mpaka picha yake. Big shout out to you, Vida. Thank you so much. Alafu pia tuko na Mary pia ako locked. Big shout out to you. Ah, jamani. This makes me so happy to see you. Big shout out to you, beautiful ladies kabisa. It is indeed a Feel Good Friday. Vida ametoka all the way from Kitengela. Alafu pia tuko na Irene from Kochia, Akondani kabisa. Big shout out to you. We have two Irenes now on the show. You see? Karibu sana to the show. But back to the conversation we're having. In case you're probably wondering, pia mi naezaje kuwa hii part of the conversation, naezaje wapatia my view, my take on different things, because we all have different experiences. Me, I can talk from just the angle of what I see around, but maybe you're actually going through every single thing ambayo tunazungumzia. Maybe some of the things that we're talking about have applied in your life. Why don't you be the one to tell us or let us know? Fungua roho pale hivyo kwa WhatsApp 0770729366. Hizo picha zizidi kumokre pale hivyo. Big shout out to yourselves. Also, munataka ma big ups, munataka vitu zote, come through pale hivyo kwa WhatsApp. And also, you can call in live via our number. My line is open 0115885797. Na pia msinipigie reverse kwa asante. You can also tag me all over social media at Ibru TV Kenya, except for Facebook, which is Ibru TV KE. But without further ado, turudi kwa conversation. every single time you get into something, unakuwaga na goals. And also in a marriage, there's some of the financial goals that you have together or independently and whatnot. And you ought to plan for them. You ought to communicate to them when it comes to your partner. Now, how do we go about that whole aspect of financial goals when it comes to a relationship?
One, you have to, when you're coming together before the marriage, this part of planning again, you have to encourage open communication that everybody brings in the expectations. Now, this expectation mostly could be career, because career is also related to finances again. Somebody wants to go back to school, somebody wants to do a different course, somebody wants to shift career again. You know, all these conversations, they comes back again to haunt your financial life. But on the finances itself again, you have to think, for me, 3 key areas, very important, of course. One of them is retirement. If you're employed, you're working, or you're in business again, whichever part of kind of economy you are in, or wherever you are getting your income from, you have to think about retirement. That's one of the very, very key important things that you have to look at. Then, number 2, you have to look at your kids, the education, the life that you're going to give them again. How are you going to support them? To what level of education? To which schools do you want them to go? Of course, depending on your ability, your potential. And then number 3, you have to look at your long-term goals as a couple. Buying a home, maybe buying a car, owning some properties. These 3 things, they form the pillars that will guide you through your financial life. Because if you don't set them up again, you are likely to squander the money. Remember, if you don't have a goal, then you don't have an expenditure or a budget to spend your money on wisely again. You find yourself, you're spending whatever comes in. You know, money comes in, you spend because money is there, and you don't have a long-term plan. So it's very important, in as far as you're talking about who will be paying the bills, who will be buying the food, who will be doing this, who will be paying the rents, and all these other things again, those 3 important factors. Now, once you have those 3, number 2, it's about setting now aside the amount that is going to help you meet it. If you're talking about retirement, at what age? Are you going to wait until 50? Are you going to go up to 60? Are you going to retire early, maybe at 40? You know, depending on how you want your life to be. Number 2, if it's in business, for how long are you going to run that business? Do you want to do it until you die inside that business, or you want to leave early and add over maybe to your children or to somebody else? Then if you have just agreed on that, on the timing, maybe the retirement and what now. If we are going to retire at 50 or at 60, what do you want at retirement? This amount of money that can sustain us to this end. And I have to mention this because I've been in the finance industry, insurance to be very specific. You find you're doing some statistics whereby the people retire at age of 60. Majority of them do not live more than 10 years after retirement. Issue coming with the depression and the stress. You know, you're used to income coming every month, and then you've gone home. There is nothing. Maybe there is some small trickle down from either the government. Others, maybe there is nothing literally coming in, and then there is this depression and everything. So when planning for that retirement, you should be looking at it. If God blesses you, you are well, you have good health, how many years are you likely to live after retirement? Now, again, another funny mistake. This is an African mistake. You say, I want to invest in children, they will take care of me. That's a very wrong premise to start your marriage or your life with again, because you are living in a different age, in a different time. You can no longer trust your children. They also have their dreams, they have their life to live, because at the end of the day, it will get to a point whereby they leave, they go, and then you have nobody to support you. So you are left there cursing your own children, not because of their own problem, but because it's you made it. You didn't prepare for yourself. So prepare for that. Another aspect that is also very important to bring in, the issue of emergencies again, because they do happen. You know, in case of sickness, chronic illness, you know, we have maybe an accident, you know. You have a house, you have bought a house, and then it has caught fire. It's no longer there. How do you undo this? Now, when talking about that, again, it's also very important to discuss it from an emotional perspective, in a sense that it's not always about finances. Because finances might not be there. You might have planned, but then this happens too soon. So it's also a question of how do we manage, how do we come out of it very strong again, if money is there or money is not there. But factor in those 3 things in your financial plan.
All right, that is just hoping for the best and preparing for the worst at the end of the day. We usually don't plan for these catastrophes that happen in our lives. We usually go into things always hoping that everything would go so rosy, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. There are ups, there are downs. You prepare for all of them. But now when it comes to this aspect of third parties in a relationship, third parties in a marriage, guy, hiyo ni conversation yenye watu wengi huwa wanaangalia wako like, apana. Third parties can be friends. Third parties can be your relatives, that is your in-laws and all of that. Now, as you go into marriage, how important is it to prepare both your partner and the third parties that form the external environment of your marriage?
Okay. Before you get into it, there are two sides, the man's side, the girl's side. You have to prepare your side as a lady, the man to prepare your side so that there will be no conflict. You are marrying for yourself. That one I say. Not for the tribe, not for the clan, not for the family. Because when you bring friends in, your family in, that thing starts starting in. They will start scratching at the first time of their marriage. So we have to know the way to deal with our relatives, with our people around us, the third parties, the friends. You have to keep them off at least, so that you run your home together. I said this is a journey for two people, right? It's a story you are going to write every day. Whenever people come in your home and you are together, you have that unity. You have claved to your wife and to your husband. Let no man come in between there, whether your father or your mother. And it is very important for you, who is connected to your own parents, to tell them, to give them the limits, to disturb your husband. Yeah? Kusubua kila saa wako kwa gate. The in-laws on the man's side, where there is a lot of weakness. These are my people. Hakuna my people in your marriage. When your people come, the gap start widening. And that marriage is as good as headed. So we have to take care of them and also plan for them. We communicate. We communicate how are we going to run these in-laws so that we have some finances for them. If I'm educating my people, I have to let my husband know so that he will be there to chip in with the little we have. You allow me to chip in, not to go secretary, Adam, helping my people, while my children cannot go to a good school. So first priority in marriage is you and your husband, then your family, immediate family, the nuclear, your children, then the others, they can be overflowed with what you have. But I don't mean you don't help them. I've helped a lot in my in-law side. He has helped in my place. But I don't have to bring them in like the ones who are going to fight this marriage. Yeah. Because if you allow in-laws, that is the worst. Watch your friends. Friends, you can keep them off. But these are people you are going to live with them forever. You cannot throw your mom, your daddy, your brother or sisters. And some are very salty. They are not interested with your marriage. Some are envious. Yeah, they are jealous. They are human beings. So the man should take charge of his family members and let me know them before even I come. Let me know what you do with your family. I educate all my people so that I start getting scared. Allah. Yeah? You know, a girl will ask, Allah, when you are the father, and your father is there. And then I come with a story. You know, I deal even with my grandmother, and then he will be scared. Inside, he won't talk because the marriage is so new, or the relationship. But let us be open in this sense that the three figures are pointing at me and my husband. We are one. Them, they can keep over our marriage. And that is the only time you can build up and come to what he is saying about retirement. Because retirement, the first goal I say is your union, love. If you can maintain that love, which was there before you started, you grow like two little kids. Yeah? You love one another. Whenever one is in a heartache, you are there for him. You are there for her. So that when you have worked, you know that tomorrow you are talking about you work when you marry. Yeah? Your properties, you take loans, you build this, you buy a shamba, you do this. You will not have a hazard life when you retire. because you can decide, we shall be running a business, a kuku with mama, relaxed, you know, not running like a teenager or a young man of 40 years. That one you should not learn in the retirement. You will get the chairs. You are working with finances, chairs, the treasury boards. When you had money, you know to prepare for tomorrow, not with your children. Children are good, but you know they have their own issues. And I'm saying don't be at their door knocking all the time. Huyu anaenda shule, huyu anafanya hapana. So when you plan your finances early enough, as husband and wife, even from when the children are not very needy, and cut down expenses when you are young so that you can build up your empire in the old age, all right? You're not, I enjoy people who are together there. My father running his own shop he built when he was in the working, an employee. My mom dealing with the tea bushes. They look at the tea bushes when they were there. I lost my mom just recently.
I'm so sorry
But
about
I'm so
that.
glad that they went. My dad with 107 like a kijana.
Yeah.
My mom did not lose at 95, the senses, because they were busy with their own things. They were not coming to disturb us. The same with my in-laws. They have their own things to do.
Yeah.
So when we plan ahead like them, they had many children. My mom in love, 12. My mom, 9. So I used to tell them, I've not gotten half of you. You know?
Right.
So I like people who organize their lives together without interruptions from friends, from in-laws.
Yeah.
Please mark the boundaries, as we said last time we were here.
Yeah.
And it will work so well, even in that retirement. However little you are getting from your plots, from the kuku business, from your coffee bushes, from whatever, it will be very comfortable. Mukitaka kwenda ng'ambo, hao wazazi hawasumbui. They don't disturb their children. They want to visit the one in abroad. They want to go where they want to go to Mombasa in the church, with a church. There they are, because they planned ahead of
So it's
time
very important to
plan
actually
ahead.
plan everything
And
and
then
set your
another
boundaries.
very important goal, be a giver. You know, when the queen and whatever they go in the Maslow theory, up there, they become givers to the society, give back to the society. Church is very important, or your religion. Please give to the needy, engage in the society, and they won't grow old. That's a very good goal. Me, I admire that. To be outgoing, to help where I can, to talk to the disabled, to drug addicts. Even when I grow old, I will not grow here, because I'll be going out to help the needy and my church.
Which are very, very important goals.
Giving is a
keep
priority.
on giving at
so
the end of
that
the
God
day.
will keep on blessing you, and then they treat
Exactly, but
people.
because of time, we need to cover a lot of things, but we do get the whole concept. And pia watu nyumbani wanashukuru sana because we're opening or broadening the horizon to different things, but also this planning, hataki kuachia topic katikati, so we need to ensure that we've catered for everything. So when it comes to children, at the end of the day, that's an important conversation that you need to have, because we live in a generation where some people just want to get into a marriage, but I don't want kids. Or maybe I don't want them right now. Let's wait after 5 years. Oh, I don't want to ruin my body. Oh, I don't want to see what. People give all sorts of excuses for their own reasons, for their own whatever it is. So when it comes to a conversation, Yamatoi, when should we have this conversation? How should we go about it? All of that shebang.
Again, it goes back to what I was saying. The same time we're having conversation about finances and about the marriage, you should factor in children, because they are a very, very important component of that family. Now, we have different people having different thoughts and different opinions, of course, based either on culture, exposure, you know, social background, maybe even religion at times. So it is important to sit down before you do the wedding, or before you come together again and then you start having issues. It's important to discuss it before you come together and discuss a few issues regarding children. How many children are you going to be having? Starting from when again? Because like I said, you could be having career goals that are distracting you. Maybe somebody's in school right now, you are marrying and somebody's in school. So you are going to wait for her or for him to finish school. Or somebody has a plan to go back to school or to do something like that. So you have to factor in those things. So talk about the number of children, from when, again, after marriage, because, you know, once you get married, people expect to be having children maybe in a year, 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
but which should not be the case. You should not let people outside there to pressure you. It's
Or
up to you.
dictate what you want
Yeah.
to do.
So dictate your own terms, set your own terms. Then number two, also talk about the intervals. At what intervals do you want the children to be? So that conversation, the entire conversation regarding children, again, there are those people who will bring in the issue of gender, again, although you don't have control over it again, but there are those people who bring in the issue of gender and all these things. Have that conversation before you go into marriage. Because if you're going to have it inside that marriage, you're going to be having fights and quarrels, because what happens is, the man has an expectation, maybe depending on where they've come from. They want to have 5 kids or 10 kids or whatever the number, and then the lady has
Just
her own
wants one or
reservations.
two.
There is the issue of timing. The lady wants, maybe I want to get children past 30. The man feels like, I'm too old now, my age mates are already educated. So have this conversation, and then at the end of the day again, when having this conversation, I will emphasize, be honest and then be accommodative again. Because at the end of the day, we are two people standing on two extremes. We want to find a common ground in between.
Yeah. And part of lastly what we need to
I add
plan,
there?
yes?
I can add a retro about children. I would wish people not to fight about kids, the sex, the gender. I'm a mother of girls, very proud of them. The father is very proud of them, because we don't know what God wants to give you. And it is for a reason. You cannot create a child. That one I want our people to know, that they want to go out to marry another one to bring boys or to bring girls. You are not your God. So another issue about getting children, yes, maybe you married when you are in school. Somebody want to go on with education. But if you are not in school, I wish my girls should know, get your children when you marry, so that you can have a nice time also together. As you look at them, they grow, watch them grow, and you have all the time with yourself. I got mine very early. My granddaughter is in high school in America.
Whoa.
The others are following there. And I have a son from my sister. So the children are in school, so I have 5. And I tell you, when you marry, it is the right age to marry. When you get married, why are you getting so quickly into marriage? Okay, to avoid promiscuity, sidio. But also think about your plan about your children that time. So that when you get them married, they will also enjoy you. When you are 30, you are not even 35, you are not able to hold your baby as a lady. You are getting tired. You know, the body is growing, my friend. The husband may be 40. He will not really be interested with those kids and playing around with them, because he is thinking about biashara ya kuwa bring up, nini nini. But let you enjoy bringing up the children together. We have enjoyed. And don't buy that time. Finish and do. Me, I went back to school when I was a mama in 2011. I graduated. I'm still in school. I'm enjoying.
At the end of
So
the day,
there is an
things work for different
advantage for
people.
every situation. Marrying early like me, those who married it, but think about it.
I hope mnasikia mkiwa pale nyumbani kama wewe ni mwanamke. At the end of the day, the whole point of the conversation is not to keep you rigid-minded, for you to understand the benefits and choose what works for you, because that's what's most important. But now we need to answer a few questions, because we have a lot of questions from WhatsApp. So let's take the last 15 minutes kuangalia tu maswali and all of that. Tuko na Jimmy from Twapa. Tutaweka hiyo picha yenu tukikaribia mwisho wa show pale hivyo, na bradhako mmetumia pale picha mkiwa mmeketi pale base mkiwatch show. Big shout out to you. Alafu pia tuko na swali all the way from Nakuru. Hi Aziza, my sister's namesake. Ooh, you have a sister who has the same name as I do. Big shout out to her. So I've been in this marriage for 4 years now. But my husband is not open on financial issues, to a point I get to realize he's on loans, but I didn't know what he does with the loans. Ye uchukua tu, because we have nothing that you can say. He took the loans to start a business or buy a land, or when I ask, nikimuuliza, he ends up being violent. Anasema hizo pesa anachukua juu yangu na mtoto, ati tunakula kila siku. But my dear, the life we're living is not enjoyable. Please hide my ID, and I I even wish to get a marriage counselor to talk about this. We'll try as much as possible to link you up. But kwa hii situation yake whereby they've been married for 4 years, the husband is not open on financial issues, ataki kuongelea kitu yoyote, anaitisha malone left, right and center. When he's questioned, he ends up getting very violent, and you tend to wonder, okay, well, hii pesa yote uwaga inaenda wapi? And you can't see the results in as far as your life is concerned, because anakwambia, oh, nawachukulia loan wewe na watoto na nini and everything, but it can't relate to the kind of life that you need, that you live. How would you talk to her?
One, it seems, of course, I don't want to assume, but again, it seems this is an issue that they never discussed before. In the previous show, we have talked about people find themselves in marriage by circumstances. You know, something happened, you got a child, or you became pregnant, and you're running after this man. You know, if in that kind of a setup, number one, I appreciate her for being open enough. Number two, also for seeking help, because she's saying to get a marriage counselor. So this is an issue that she should address. One, it goes back to communication. When you're talking about communication, when approaching this husband, at what time does she approach him, and on what kind of tone? You know, when you go to somebody and then you're saying like, unamtetesha, hii pesa ulichukua ulipeleka wapi? Of course, you expect the response to be very negative again. But take time. You know, everybody has a sweet spot. Get to the sweet spot of that man. Talk to him when he's sober, when in the right place to talk about it. Try to get him to open not only on finance. Don't go direct to unachukuanga pesa unapeleka wapi.
So ni cut two corners.
Yeah, just start from somewhere. Have some conversation, maybe on goals. Where do you want to be in 10 years, 20 years? Now, from that, you can approach it from that perspective of if you're going to be owning land maybe in 20 years, then we can't own land with this kind of life. So don't rush it directly to like, you know, you're very hungry, you're very harsh on him. Just approach it slowly, but look for something else to tether to it. Then obviously, like she has said, I would encourage her also to seek a counselor to talk to them too, if the gentleman agrees. And this, the counselor will also advise, give further advice. If the gentleman doesn't agree to go to the counselor again, they will seek for an approach, maybe engage a friend, engage a close family, or, you know, the counselor will give those options that are very easy to access, and then they will help her to settle this issue.
All right, I hope umesaidika ukiwa pale nyumbani, but we also have somebody else who comes through. That is Eve Wanjiru kutoka Juja. Big shout out to you, Eve. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. And Asma, hi, beautiful. Hi to you as well. Say hi to our counselors. Mnasalimiwa pale nyumbani. What I would want to say about marriage is that we not only focus on our finances as much as it's important, but also our well-being in that relationship. Is that relationship healthy? So we have to look at things like having one goal, understanding each other, communicating effectively. Remember, marriage requires a lot of hard work from both parties as well as prayers. Otherwise, for me, in quotes, the secret to marriage still remains a secret. That is her opinion, and we very much appreciate it and value it right here on the show. We also have Monica Jelagat from E10, and I'm really enjoying the show. Greet them. They're saying the facts, especially this generation of ours. Marriage is not easy. Hey. Okay, Agriokal from Kisumu, and I said on the Feel Good Friday topic, I agree on openness, both in finances and emotionally. But let's not lie to ourselves. The current woman can't accept to be a housewife, regardless of their education or otherwise, especially Kenyan ladies. And I want to speak to a Kenyan lady. Do you think she's speaking the truth?
Yes.
Why so?
Yeah, I said about the millionaire you were talking about.
Yeah.
Not so many girls, young girls, would agree to sit in the house and wait. I get the sense that the one from Nakuru is not working. Yeah, it's not working.
All right.
That's why she's being twisted, but they will talk to a counselor and they pray that it will work.
Yeah.
The one who said marriage is not all about finances. Imagine when you marry this guy, you didn't ask him for the bank account. No. You didn't ask me, Irene, how much you have? No. It's between me, love. When I saw you, I got attracted to you. And then we created a bond out of our love. And we went to the further steps to get married. And before they are married, let them see counselors. To be told, have open communication. It is the key thing killing marriages today. People don't talk. You close into yourself. You are getting thousands. You don't want to talk. You are buying what is nini. So when we say you have to build your marriage on trust and openness, because if you listen to those people who are complaining, runs, what,
Yeah.
there is a question mark, a
Yeah,
red
when it
flag
comes
in
to
that
trust and
marriage. Yeah?
openness.
There is no trust, there is no openness, there is looking down upon.
Yeah.
You are talking about sitting in the house with your millions, a millionaire husband. There will be a time when you will feel, wow, I'm so down.
Yeah.
I'm so down. I can't talk to my friend. I can't go out anywhere. I can't, you know, you are so controlled. So let us talk about emotions. Everybody have got their own feelings.
Yeah.
And the feelings made you to love that person, you know? And then it comes that you physically met and you become one, as I said. So if you are one, you are not only building on money. Money is nothing today.
Yeah.
People are killing because of money. Yesterday there was a piece of news, those who killed, the man who killed the lady, she had made flats. Why didn't he enjoy the flats? As it was hidden. That is lack of openness. Can they be open? If you are eating sukuma wiki, the neighbor should not know, as we were brought up.
Yeah.
And you come out well when you trust one another, you lay things on the table. We
Yeah.
are going this way, and that is why I was saying joint account is good.
Yeah.
Then another open account for you and for me.
Yeah.
Then the basket of the budget for the family. You will go on the same steps.
Exactly, Sawa
Yes.
Sawa. Thank you very much, and thank you for the wisdom that you've shared on the show. Lastly, tuko na Wanjiru from Juja. Ametumia picha hapa hivi. I don't know if it's your daughter. You all look absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. So thank you, Eve ametumia picha. Alafu pia tulikuwa na Jimmy kutoka Mtwapa. Tulikuwa na Vida Matano kutoka Kitengela. Thank you so much for your photos. I hope Jimmy ndo huyo hapo hivyo na bro wake. Big shout out to you akiwa pale base wakiwatch show kabisa. Tuko na picha ya Eve kutoka Juja na mtoi wake. Okay, sawa sawa. Thank you so much, Eve. We appreciate you and everyone else who's been tuning into the show right from the beginning to the very end. We don't take it for granted, but at the end of the day, we hope that the conversation that we've been having right here in studio has made an impact in your life, has made an impact in your relationship, or even if you're married, I hope imeweka impact kidogo. Thank you so much, Samson, for being a part of the show. Still hoping to see that jeans and sneakers na kashati ka Manchester United or Arsenal.
Call me when
will
he
keep on
comes
praying.
that way. I come with a jean suit. Skirt, not a... I wanted to wear that.
That would have been really pretty. Thank you so much, Irene, as well. Tunashukuru sana for your
Asante.
wisdom right here on the
Karibu,
show.
karibu.
And once again, asante sana to you who's tuning into the show mpaka mwisho, mpaka tamati. We appreciate you. And be sure to join me next week, same time, same place, for Youth Culture Tuesdays. We also have Feel Good Friday, tuko na Lifestyle Thursdays, na kesho tuko na Chit Chat. Make sure that you tune in. Join Winnie Lubembe at the top of the hour for the 1 p.m. news. But for now, nakutakia tu weekend njema. My name is Aziza Hashim.